Spent a lot of the last few weeks riding this thing, but after a little while, finally some of the things that might have been wrong with it decided to show its face, and I had a small electrical fire while on my way home from work. Which is a bummer because I was finally starting to be comfortable with it and not worry about whether or not it was going to be reliable, just assuming that it was going to be for the long run. Which would also mean that I could stop using every waking moment of thought processing on it. I managed to put the fire out on the side of the road. Everything's fine. Spent the last week rewiring everything from scratch. But that's not what today's about, and today's not an update video on all the things you've missed. I'll do that later. Today's about these two boxes that showed up this week. I think it's pretty obvious now if you've been watching this channel long enough and you've never seen a box like this that it is indeed a bike box. The exciting part is that there's two of them. Mountain bikes. Two of them.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
It's possible that I got a little bit overzealous and excited with the 0 to 100 speed of unboxing. You see, my excitement for getting Angela out on a mountain bike sort of overtook, and well, geez, I just threw these together and we went to where I have been planning on taking her for the longest time, which is just a small pump track nearby to go try it out. Within a matter of 20 or 30 minutes, things escalated from riding around on a pump track to riding the smallest hump jumps there to trying the medium-sized jumps and then just, you know, going full bore and wanting to do the biggest ones there. I wish my progression was that exponential. Yeah, just a little bit faster. Four crashes trying this so far. Still trying it now. She has literally never been on a mountain bike before. Isn't that crazy? Okay, so proof out of the way, let's actually talk about what has actually shown up here. So Schwinn, being the fantastic company and sponsor of this channel that they are, sent along two of their Moab 1 hardtail mountain bikes. As you can see, I've already had them together and we've already ridden them, you know, purely out of an impatient personality trait of my own. Now is the time that all the break-in period has kind of taken care of itself, and I can actually do what I should have done when I originally just kind of threw them together, made sure everything was safe so that we could go ride them immediately. Involves going tubeless with the included tubeless valves in the box that it was shipped in. This one here is the size extra small. It uses 650B wheels. It's Angela's. Mine, which is over here, already set up tubeless, ready to go again. It is a 29-inch wheel, so for the size extra small and extra small, they use a 650B size wheel, purely just to make the bike a little less awkward to throw around for shorter people and in the smaller frame. You see all sorts of companies do that. All right, so tinkering and tuning aside, let's go over exactly what these things are. The Moab name is not new to the Schwinn lineup at all. However, it is revamped to be a higher end bike in their Schwinn Signature Series lineup. These use a hydroformed aluminum frame that Schwinn calls N-lighted. It's triple butted. You know, that would be their name for their process of drawing out the tubing and getting the shapes that they have. They did go out of their way to run everything internally, at least until the bottom bracket, where everything kind of comes exposed again. Speaking of the bottom bracket, threaded, however, not using a external bottom bracket. It uses the old style power spline? Old Truvative technology. Anyway, tapered head tube at a 69.5 degree head tube angle. I don't know. I'm excited about that. It's less steep than what the cross-country bike I've been riding for the last little while is. And on the few times that I've ridden this, I like it a lot. And also, most notably, when I pulled these out of the box, knowing that Schwinn and Cannondale are owned by the same parent company, and while neither would probably admit this, the top tube shape just has this like somewhat undeniably Cannondale sort of look to it. As a matter of fact, I kind of feel like the whole bike as an aesthetic sort of does, which in my opinion is just a big plus. I really like everything Cannondale does, and if they are leaning on each other in any way, I think that's just exciting news. And mounted in that head tube is an all black 100mm travel RockShox Judy. It uses an air spring and it's got the remote lockout. And I mean, obviously all black looks awesome. There's just boost spacing, you know. Oddly, for some reason, I just would have thought that like this corner would be cut, but it's just good to know that that they went modern and said, yeah, everybody's gone boost. Let's bite the bullet. Let's go with it. The wheels are obviously boost as well. Formula hubs laced to WTB I-23 tubeless ready rims. And as I showed earlier, they come with tubeless valves and set up really nice. All you do is add tape and sealant and put your tires back on, throw the compressor to it, boom, you're done. Both of these set up tubeless without much in the way of extra investment at all. Like tubeless tape, I use Gorilla Tape, worked perfect. The drivetrain is SRAM NX Eagle, which just translates to 12 speed with massive range. Basically what that is a 1x12 drivetrain using a 30-tooth narrow wide chainring with an 11 through to 50 cassette. It does not use the XD driver, so you don't get that 10-tooth cog. I don't know if that bothers me or if I'm actually excited that you could use any Shimano or SRAM cassette that you want on it. The jury's still out on that. I think I'm excited about it. The tires are WTB Rangers in a 2.25 width. Nice, simple, kind of not too aggressive tread, and they set up tubeless with ease. The brakes are TRP Slate T4s. They do work well. I am just curious as to see how they're going to hold up. If they hold up and keep this kind of braking performance for the longevity of the bike, then they're fantastic, and I would actually buy them. If they fail, like other Textro products that I've used, then back to the drawing board. Though the design is nice, it's a very aesthetically pleasing brake lever. And then of course to finish it off, the same sort of finishing kit that you're going to see on every bike, aluminum seat post, generic saddle, but a WTB one at that, alloy stem, and some fairly wide and comfortable, nice setback, comfortable handlebars. I'm happy with them. I see no reason to change them out. You know, in the end, I'm just excited to see Schwinn stay true to a lower price, but come out with all the right choices to make sure that a bike stays as modern as it possibly can. With a 69.5 degree head tube angle and a 58mm bottom bracket drop, the bottom bracket is low enough to be fun and stable, but not so low that you're breaking it off of everything. The 69.5 degree head tube angle is slack enough so that it's plenty fun to point down a hill for a cross-country bike, but not so steep that it just feels like you're going to go over the bars all the time. Kind of like what my Felt is like. This is a much more playful platform to ride around on a trail than it is that other bike. That thing feels more racy for sure, but I would say that something like this would become probably the new normal within like 1 or 2 weeks. Easily. Sticking with the simple threaded bottom bracket, well, that was obviously just genius. Shipping the bike tubeless ready with most of the parts that you need, well, that's just so good. Boost spacing, 12 speed? I mean, come on, who doesn't kind of lust for that? Even if you look at the chain the wrong way, you're gonna need a new one because they're so thin that they wear out so quickly. Yeah, I anticipate being on this thing probably a lot for the rest of the summer.